Hello and welcome to the first week of your Healthy Skin Challenge. I really want to thank you for joining the group and also invite you to post your selfie. If you haven't already done so, tell me a little bit about yourself, put some pictures, any kind of issues that you're concerned with, or whether you have any questions about skincare, just add it into your post. You'll be contacted by a member of the team who will give you details of a special promotion that's just been created for people that are in the group and also posting selfies. So here we are, we're on to the third video, and I've already given you lots of tips on elimination. And today I'm going to look more closely at how the food we eat affects our skin, because there's no point in pretending that the two aren't interconnected. A lot of people with acne and rosacea often come to me and they tell me, oh, my doctor prescribed me these drugs and I've been taking antibiotics and doing all kinds of things, but they've never talked to me about how my diet actually affects my skin. So why does food have an effect on our skin? Well, it is obviously an organ, and the things that we eat result in creating the cells that are within our tissue, and this skin, this organ, is made of protein. So protein is definitely an important part of the food we eat. And we all know that there are various sources of protein that are animal sourced and even plant sourced. But when we look at things that are important in terms of maintaining healthy skin, it's all about the immune system, because the immune system is your skin. Your skin is designed to keep things out. So when you eat foods that are pro-inflammatory, you're actually also triggering some immune reactions that can be responsive and effective if it was bacteria that was invading your skin. But when it's internal and it's compounded inflammation because you're eating and maybe consuming things like, I don't know, alcohol, dairy, gluten, you name it, anything that tastes delicious creates inflammation in the body. And that unfortunately has an effect on our skin through this immune system. So we know that there are people who have naturally, they might have been born with a sensitized, an actual allergy to specific foods. But there are also certain conditions which I believe are related to having ignited your immune system. So anything where you see redness in the skin, rosacea, acne, definitely look at these histamine promoting foods. When gluten is eaten, and you may not know that you're allergic to gluten, but if you have any sort of sensitivity, so if you experience bloating, loose stools after pasta, like if you're a bit sleepy, if you're eating bread as well, anything that's wheat is going to have gluten in it, then even in very small amounts, if you already have an unhealthy gut. So this is a condition that Dr. X, which is AXE, he has an amazing program that explains about leaky gut. And it's a problem that a lot of us have. I know I have it because I've also got a predisposition to having a thyroid problem, a hyperreactive thyroid. Hyporeactive thyroid. So with having leaky gut, you have these perforations in your gut that cause for food particles to enter into your blood system. And as a result of that, our blood obviously is full of immune cells. And when these particles are absorbed into the blood system, they create natural immune factors that cause inflammation. So we really want to limit the amount of C-reactive protein that we have in our bodies, because it's great, again, if bacteria are present and you need to fight off an illness. This is why this immune response is present. But if it's being ignited because of the food that you're eating, and it's happening in small amounts but on a regular basis, you're going to start to see various symptoms. So what are the kind of things that you see on the face? Dark circles, number one, blue dark circles. Also puffiness under the eyes. If you're waking up and you're seeing a lot of water retention under your eyes, then it could be that you have an issue with your thyroid that needs to get checked out. And there's a really easy online test that you can do from a company called thriva.com, which is a fingerprint test that you can buy for under £60. It does your vitamin D, which is a hormone that you get from being in sunlight, but it's also very anti-inflammatory. So it's one of the reasons why sunlight is so important for our health, is because it has this property of being able to reduce the impact of C-reactive proteins and obviously maintain the DNA, the healthy DNA of our cells. So when you are looking to, examine if someone has an issue, you're going to definitely check their thyroid function. I would also be thinking about how hormones affect their skin, because a lot of the food that we eat can either promote estrogen or testosterone. So when you're thinking about having healthy, balanced skin, you need to ensure that you aren't promoting too much progesterone, because that can lead to growth. It can lead to causing all kinds of disruptions and cystic issues within the skin. The other problem that we see is with too much testosterone, which is nearly like the opposite. And in women in particular, when they are stressed, or if they have an underlying health issue with a condition known as polycystic ovary syndrome, they will have far more, a higher amount of testosterone in their system. And that fluctuates, but it can lead to them seeing symptoms like cystic acne around their jawline, and also some of the typical symptoms that are described, like weight gain. You can also get issues with hair, but I've had plenty of people that have had none of those symptoms and later on have actually been diagnosed as having polycystic ovary syndrome. So it's well worth looking at the amount of sugar that's in your diet, because any of these problems, like if you are eating refined white sugar, and even things like agar syrup, which is considered healthy, but it's the actual effect that it has on your insulin. And insulin is the hormone that takes out sugar from our blood. So it's what puts it into our cells for energy. But if you have sugars that cause your blood levels to rise too quickly, that subsequently leads to high amounts of insulin, and then you have a crash, you have that burnout. So we want slow releasing sugars. So I quite like stevia, which I have in my coffee. I also have it in a lot of my vegan protein powders are sweetened with stevia. I think you still need to watch out how much you actually take, but there are so many better alternatives. And I'm just giving some ideas out because I don't want to pretend that there is no relationship between healthy skin and what you eat. I love the program I Quit Sugar for Life. I think it might be ending though in the next month. It is a free program to join. There is a paid version, but as I said, there's plenty of information out there. There's some great resources. Pure Joy Planet are my ultimate guide for pure, plant-based, low carb. If you've heard about having a diet which is higher in fat as well, and low carb, so that actually puts you into what we call ketosis, then Pure Joy Planet is a great source for inspiration. And there's a lot of groups that you can join via their e-learning programs that they offer. So these are just some things, but even I quite like that 15-minute Joey Wicks. He's quite a hottie. His Lean 15 is a good start for someone who wants to eat meat but still has other things in their diet. There's carbs in there, but they don't have to be gluten carbs. There's plenty of gluten-free versions, like rice. Brown rice is gluten-free, for example. So yeah, think about going gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, alcohol-free for 28 days, because those dark circles, you will be absolutely mesmerized with how much improvement you can get. And too many times, especially on Instagram, I've seen a lot of videos where people are getting dermal fillers very close to their eye area, which is actually quite risky. And it is for conditions like dark circles, puffiness. And actually, if you really know what goes on underneath the skin, you'll soon enough realize that a lot of it is health related. So I don't believe that we should necessarily jump too quickly at disguising some of these problems like under eye bags before exploring what the root causes are. And it isn't necessary for you to go gluten free or dairy free the next 28 days, but see this as being an exercise which may, if you remain curious and open, may lead you onto discovering things about your health and things about your skin that you didn't know before. So before I finish up, this week's challenge is to consider going gluten, dairy, alcohol, sugar-free, looking for better alternatives. If you haven't already done so, please post your selfie and you'll be rewarded with a special promotion. I am so looking forward to seeing you later in the week. Take care.